Grandma's house smelled like dust and secrets. It was a big old house with creaky wooden floors and walls that seemed to whisper stories of the past. Sunlight never seemed to reach inside, casting long shadows that danced eerily in the dim light. I visited every summer, and every summer I was afraid. The air was always still, almost suffocating, like something was pressing down on me, making it hard to breathe. Grandma smiled a lot, her face wrinkling in a way that made her look kind, but her eyes were sad, holding a depth of sorrow that words could never express. She never talked about the basement, a place that seemed to hold the darkest of secrets. The house was filled with old furniture, each piece a relic of a bygone era. The living room had heavy curtains that blocked out the light, and an old, ornate clock that ticked slowly, its sound echoing through the silence. The staircase creaked with every step, as if warning you to tread carefully. The hallway was lined with old family portraits, their eyes following you as you walked by, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Despite the fear, there was something captivating about Grandma's house. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the past and present coexisted in a delicate balance. Every corner held a story, every shadow a memory. It was a place that drew you in, even as it filled you with a sense of unease. And through it all, Grandma's sad eyes watched over me, a silent guardian of the house's many secrets. One afternoon I found it. A door, hidden at the end of a hallway. It was tucked behind a dusty old tapestry. I peeked through the crack. Darkness. I told Grandma about the door. Her smile faded. "Don't go near there," she whispered. Her voice shook a little. I wanted to ask why, but her eyes scared me. That day the house was unusually quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you feel like you're being watched. I had been exploring the attic, a place filled with forgotten memories and old, dusty furniture. That's when I noticed the tapestry. It was different from the rest, almost as if it was deliberately placed to hide something. My curiosity got the better of me, and I pulled it aside, revealing the door. The door was old, with peeling paint and a rusty handle. It looked like it hadn't been opened in years. I felt a chill run down my spine as I reached out to touch it. The wood was cold and rough under my fingers. I leaned in closer, trying to see through the crack. All I could see was darkness, an impenetrable void that seemed to swallow the light. When I told Grandma about the door, her reaction was immediate and unsettling. Her usually warm and comforting smile disappeared, replaced by a look of fear. "Don't go near there," she whispered, her voice trembling. It was the first time I had ever seen her so scared. I wanted to ask her why, to understand what was behind that door, but the fear in her eyes stopped me. It was a fear that I had never seen before, a fear that made me realize that some secrets are better left undiscovered. That night, I couldn't sleep. The forbidden door filled my thoughts. I had to see what was down there. I crept out of bed. The stairs creaked under my feet. Each step took me deeper into the darkness. The air grew cold, biting at my skin. A single light bulb flickered at the bottom. The basement smelled like mildew and earth. Shadows danced on the walls. I took a step back. Something brushed my shoulder. I spun around. Nothing. Then I heard it. A whisper, cold and close to my ear. "Get out!" My heart pounded in my chest. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I ran back up the stairs, my fear giving me speed. I burst into Grandma's room, gasping for breath. "Grandma, I heard something in the basement!" Grandma wasn't surprised. She nodded sadly. "It's all right, dear. They don't like to be disturbed." Her voice was barely a whisper. "They don't like me much either." I didn't ask who they were. The shadows that moved silently through the house, their presence was enough to send chills down my spine. I could feel their eyes on me, even though I never saw their faces. The air was thick with an unspoken tension, a fear that clung to every corner of the room. I didn't want to know. Knowing would make it real, and I wasn't ready to face that reality. I turned away, hoping that if I ignored it, it would go away. But deep down, I knew it wouldn't. The fear was a constant companion, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. I just huddled in bed with Grandma, her thin arm around me. Her presence was the only thing that made me feel safe. She would hum softly, a lullaby that was meant to soothe my racing heart. But even her gentle voice couldn't drown out the whispers that seemed to come from the walls themselves. My heart raced until the sun came up. The first light of dawn brought a sense of relief, but it was always temporary. The fear would return with the night, stronger and more insistent. Each sunrise was a brief respite, a momentary escape from the terror that haunted my nights. We never talked about the basement again. It was an unspoken rule, a pact of silence that we both adhered to. The basement was a place of secrets, a dark abyss that held memories we were too afraid to confront. The door remained closed, a barrier between us and whatever lurked below. But I knew Grandma heard the whispers too. Her eyes would dart to the corners of the room, her face would pale at the slightest sound. She tried to hide her fear, but I could see it. It was the same fear that kept me awake at night, the same fear that made my heart race. I saw it in her eyes, the same fear that lived in my heart. We were bound by it, connected by an unspoken understanding. The fear was a part of us, a shadow that we couldn't escape. And as much as we tried to ignore it, it was always there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for the night to fall. I never went back to Grandma's house after that summer, but the memory of that cold whisper, the feeling of being watched in the dark, never left me. Even now, I sometimes feel like the basement is watching me, its unseen eyes following my every move, waiting.